What's up, guys? You're good.
All right, Coach, start with an opening statement.
Yeah, I think first, ton of credit to Omaha. We said it to our guys, though, that's a team that has championship DNA. When you have that 3 guys returning off a team that won regular season championship and a conference tournament championship, they're fine in these environments. They didn't get spooked by anything. So a ton of credit to them. And obviously Osborne in the first half, we lost him. We lost him probably 2 or 3 times and gave him some good looks. And then he made 2 other ones that you got to tip your hat to him on some of those. But I thought the way that our guys responded to kind of getting punched in the mouth a little bit and how they kept chopping wood and making the next play, a ton of credit to them for doing that. But then also we challenged our bench in practice. It was the weirdest thing in that last game, Incarnate Word. You saw the starting lineup was all plus 35 and the bench was somehow only 1 or -1 or zeros. It doesn't usually happen in a 35-point game. So for our bench to step up tonight, I thought they were phenomenal. They made a huge difference, and Augie basically fouled out their whole team. So it was impressive. Between Augie and Kyle, they drew 13 fouls. So when you do shoot the ball well, you go 11 for 29 from 3, and then also you go 28 for 33 from the free throw line. That usually leads to good offense.
You had some superlatives about Kyle's game last time. Do you have a couple more you'd like to add?
If that career high just keeps going up, I'll add whatever I need to. But yeah, he played great. Their ball screen coverage, we thought we could get him shots, and we did. But I mean, we talk about this all the time. It's not the amount of shots that you shoot; it's how efficient you are. And you scored 25 points on 12 shots only. That's impressive. That's hard to do, and I think that's what we've always been good at here is the level of efficiency that they score the ball with. And I mean, Kyle could have shot 10 more shots if he wanted to, the way he was playing the game. But I mean, that's why he's such a good teammate too. He didn't force a single shot. There wasn't a shot that he shot all night that I have any qualms about. He probably should have shot some more, to be honest.
He came in and he talked about what he learned last year, being more physical, knowing what his role had to be with Rashawn being out. What did you see that had you kind of spark that he was going to take not just the next step, but a rather big one?
Yeah, I think he just showed up every day. And I think it's as simple as that, the consistency with how he showed up to practice, how he showed up to the weight room, how he took care of his nutrition. It's those 1% differences that you don't necessarily see unless you're with somebody for every single day. It's kind of like watching your kids grow up a little bit. Like you guys all see it probably more drastically. We don't notice it because I'm with him every single day. But then when these performances happen the way they do, it's just a credit to him showing up every single day and sticking with it.
You talked about how hard Augie works the other night. Obviously made a huge impact in drawing fouls. Just how heady is he?
And he draws fouls in practice every day like this too. He's so physical, he's so active, but he's 6'8". You don't realize he's legitimately 6'8", but he moves like a 2'3", and he grew 3 inches between his freshman and from his senior year of high school to his freshman year of college. So really he was like a 6'4" guard essentially. Now he's a 6'8". He's big guard is what he calls himself. And it's hard to guard because the way he moves and the way he draws contact and his balance, it's a little bit like Joel Scott in some ways, where Joel could drive in there and could really get you in the air and use his body to draw fouls. And we've kind of shown him some film of Joel and how he finished in the paint that year, even though he's 6'7", sometimes he's playing the 5. And Augie's really owned up to that. And this is what he does. It's for him to shoot 2 shots and score 13 points is efficient too.
So we talk about the depth in scoring, but does I guess this is one of the ways you want it to be a weapon is defensively, and then even things like drawing fouls, you can kind of just keep throwing waves at teams of different matchups and whatever to try and tilt the scales. Is that one of the ways you can lean on that depth? Yeah,
absolutely. I think they're all so different from one another too, and I think that's what we don't have very many guys that you would say we call them twins. Like at Air Force, if this guy does the same exact thing as that guy, these guys are twins. We'll put them on the scouting report. I don't think we have anybody like that on our roster that you can say that they're exactly like the other person, and so it changes how we play lineup to lineup too, and It is. It's difficult to go against at times when you got Augie in there that can post up. Then you got Carey who can stretch the floor and then crash the glass. Then you bring in Kyle who can stretch the floor and pass and make plays. Then Nikola comes in and he's the big physical guy that can seal in the post and get easy shots for us. So it's a credit to our group of guys as a team the way they play together.
You double them up in rebounding, but is the most impressive part to you, you have more offensive boards and they have defensive boards.
Yes. And honestly, I told Kyle and Carey from our 4-5, like they had 20 rebounds together and they had 21 total. So absolutely, and I give credit to Coach DeWeese and our staff for how much we've emphasized the offensive rebounding. We've practiced it. We emphasized it a little bit last year, but we've practiced it more, and it's starting to show up. And we got good offensive rebounding players too. And then you add JoJo, who's got a 6'9" wingspan. He can go get some balls that other people can't.
How big of a leap has Carey made since coming in June?
Yeah, I mean, it's night and day. And it was funny, we were talking in the locker room. I'd love to go back and watch a scrimmage from July and just see what it looks like today and kind of show those guys that too, because sometimes, just like them, like they don't realize how much they're growing because they're day to day. But the growth that he's made, not only from an offensive standpoint, for him to put up 13 and 11, and I thought he played the right way the whole night. So it's cool for Carey too, like, to be honest, to just be in that situation that he's getting to play and make an impact while he's playing.
Has that been impressive? Just because, I mean, it could be very easy to come in and try and do too much given his history and having not worked out at old spots.
Yeah, and I think that goes back to the whole group. Like, I feel like they've all bought into a role. They're all sacrificing something. And we talk about that a lot. At the end of the day, for this team to reach its ceiling, they're all going to have to sacrifice something. And tonight, Carey played more than Augie did. Obviously, Kyle played 30 minutes tonight, the most as a starter. And it's going to change night to night. And how they deal with that and how they're willing to sacrifice for each other, that's going to determine how far we go as a team.
You mentioned the free throws. Obviously, big scoring nights the first two games, but also big I think 30-plus free throws in both these games. Is that what makes this sustainable for you guys offensively, is the fact that you're getting to the line and it's different guys trying to work their way to get to the line to be efficient there too? Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's the best offensive teams in the country get to the free throw line, make open threes, and also own the paint. And I think we've done a great job. We haven't shot very many mid ranges, to be honest. And that doesn't mean we don't let you do that. Like Isaiah Stevens, we always talk about Isaiah. Like, he can shoot any shot because his mid range is basically like a layup. So it's just depending on time and scores. We can always shoot those shots, but if we're at 12 seconds on the shot clock, they're starting to realize if we just continue to play offense, it's harder to guard late in the clock when you still have the cutting and motion going on. And that takes some time and feel to get used to, but you can start seeing them trust the offense and trust each other more with that too.
Kyle, obviously, last year was a guy who was trying to pick his spots. He was a pick and pop big a little bit. But this year, are you even surprised by some of the stuff he's doing in the post? I mean, the way he creates angles for himself, the way he finishes. Is that stuff you guys saw from the high school version of him? Like, how advanced has he become in that regard, too, since he got here? Yeah,
and I think it's just a confidence thing. Like, he's always been able to do that. He did that last summer at times, too. But it's a confidence thing. It's how you feel with your body, his balance. He doesn't get knocked off spots anymore. So the offensive piece, he's grown in that. I won't say he just freshman was who he is right now. He absolutely is. He's changed his game too, but it still goes back to his rebounding. I mean, I think that's the biggest jump that he's made in terms of, to have back-to-back games with 9 rebounds and 3 offensive, it's so impressive to me because he challenged himself to do that and he's responded to it.
Is there any timeline on Rashawn right now, just when he might be on the floor?
No, not right now. He's done a great job. He's working his tail off to get back. His dad's here right now, so he wants to play. So he's probably pushing it a little bit harder than he should. But he's looked good. He's been in the weight room. He's not in a boot. Hasn't been in a boot now for about 6 days. So he's progressing the way we want him to, but no timetable right now.
You kind of talked about, the sacrifices the guys are ready to make. The guys themselves talked about, the unselfishness, but is that sort of their mentality that maybe Kyle has a good game now, maybe it's Brandon the next or someone else down the line?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's That's when the team's really hard to guard. And last year we kind of got stuck in the situation. If Neek or Jalen Lake didn't play well, it was gonna be tough for us to win. We don't necessarily have to rely on one person to carry us through a game, and that's the beauty of this team is every night's gonna be someone different. And that's those teams are harder to guard. That was the team that I played for at Northern Iowa. There's literally 5 guys that average 10 points a game. And that's way harder to guard when you don't know who's going to have the hot hand that night. And luckily enough, we have enough guys that they all can get pretty hot.
And Josh, obviously ended with a great game. It started off really hot, and then, maybe, some substitutions happened. And then he kind of, let Kyle take over a little bit down the stretch. Is that kind of an example of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Josh is the ultimate team guy. Like, I think that's the one thing that people will learn more about Josh is I'm actually trying to get him to be more of a killer because he's talented. But it's very similar to Neek when he first got here, where Neek was at times when that first year he was passive to do things. He would just not in any bad way, but just make the right play, make the right decision, make the next read, and that's how Josh plays. And sometimes you need that too. And when your best players play that way, and they only care about what the best thing is for the team, it's hard for anybody else to complain about anything. And I think that's a huge credit to Josh, Kyle, Brandon. I don't know who you want to say, but I think they've all kind of passed the buck to each other when they feel the other person's playing well.
Thanks, Coach.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.